to Teen Talk, where we talk about anything and everything. My name is Saphiya.
And I'm Tafara Dale.
And I am really happy about this episode because I think this is quite important. Most people, well, everybody, feels misunderstood at some point, Because even grown-ups, parents can feel misunderstood by their kids can feel misunderstood by their parents, teachers can feel misunderstood by their students, and so on. So today's episode is called You Just Don't Get It. And this applies to friends, by the way. Grown-ups, I'm not talking about you. You're actually wonderful people in general.
Well, I hate to disagree with you. I actually disagree. I think parents are more... I actually think my friends are more understanding than the older people at home. Yeah, because I believe my friends are more supportive. I can tell my friends literally anything without them judging me. There's certain teachers where I can actually go to and talk to. I'm going through this, this and this is happening. What can I do without them judging you or thinking, oh my God, you're making lifeless decisions and all. Mm-hmm. They actually judge you without emotions. My parents and my guardians, they kind of like use emotions when they're making decisions, and I think they just don't get it. They don't get that. Well, they think I'm lazy. They don't get that I'm tired, like not physically, but mentally and emotionally. I'm tired of everything that's just going on around me, and they think, oh my God, this kid is lazy. He's always sleeping. He's always what? But that's actually because I sleep to remove my stress. I don't like eating, but then I sleep to remove my stress, and my parents don't get it. They think I'm lazy.
For me, like I said, I honestly think grown-ups are great people, but there's only one thing that I think they don't get: time management. Because if you wake up early, it's not your fault if somehow 5 minutes have gone past, even though you've been working the whole morning, making sure that your uniform is clean, making sure that everything is all right. You've tried your best. It's not your fault that maybe 3 minutes you wasted somehow, even if you don't know how. So that's what I think. And then also, maybe the fact that homework, you have to catch up on it. So, in short, I think that grown-ups sometimes think that we have a lot of time on our hands. Yeah, that's the case. Well, other than that, nothing.
I actually think that we have invisible pressure. Like, my parents don't have to come up to me and say, Tafara, oh my God, you have to do this, this, and that. Or, oh, Saphiya, you have to do this, this, and that. But they're telling you, Tafara, on your first pay, I want you to get me a house. On your first pay, I want you to get me a Land Rover. On your first pay, I want you to get me a Mercedes-Benz, a GLE. And at that point, we laugh, ha, that's very funny. But then, when I'm alone, I'm overthinking. I'm thinking, wait, what if she was serious? What if she actually wants a GLE? What if he actually wants me to do this, and this and that? So I think there's a lot of invisible pressure on today's teenagers.
That's true.
And that's something that everyone, not necessarily parents, but everyone needs to know, that there is no pressure. Work at your own time. Don't overthink it. It will all work out eventually. Yeah.
That's true. And one thing I actually think about a lot, though, the fact that people might say that kids are a little bit lazy, but if you think about it, they need, if their exams mean a lot to their lives, what they write down on paper can change everything. That's one thing that I realize they forget. Honestly, other than that, I'm fine. Just time management and the fact that a paper can mean our life. Other than that, I think grown-ups are cool. They try their best.
Well, actually, for the exam part, I don't actually blame the parents. I blame the system. Because what do you mean by I learned for 4 years, and my 4 years of learning is determined by just one exam of two papers, maths paper 1, maths paper 2, and you fail, and that's over for you. Then you're already put in the graded of, oh my God, you failed. But then you had 4 years of actually planning this out. So I feel like the pressure is just way too much, and they don't get that if they support us, we could do much better. As teenagers, actually, if they could support us, we could do way much better.
I understand what you mean, because support, it's practically everything, as long as you're being pushed to keep on going forward, and not a push like an actual shove, like a nice little tap push, it can mean a lot. So I think that also helps.
Well, actually, people actually say that, oh my God, you're too young to get stressed. You're too young to sleep over stress.
That's important.
But then I don't think that stress has age. Depression, people get depressed out there. I've seen it in my school. people are depressed and they don't have anyone to talk to.
That's true.
But that's not because they don't want to, but because you're scared that if I tell this person, he's going to judge me. He's going to go around telling people that, oh my God, this kid is depressed because he's going through this, and that. And at some point, I feel like society doesn't expect, we have societal expectations, and that kind of like kills our generation.
Yeah.
As teenagers, we need someone who actually supports us and doesn't judge us for what we do.
I think you're right, because age is just a number. It really is just a number. You could get hit by a car. Hopefully no one does, though. You could get hit by a car at 5, but you could also get hit by a car at 36. So age is really just a number.
Okay. Well, actually, when we're talking about you don't get it, I actually feel kind of sad for the older siblings. I feel kind of sad for the firstborns, because those guys have a lot of pressure at a really young age, especially if you're a girl. I've heard girls in my social circle whereby, everyone's kind of like venting on you, especially the mother. When she's going through stuff, she tells her firstborn daughter, they don't get that I'm still a child. I shouldn't know what you're going through, and I shouldn't know that there's family problems. You should learn to work through them without involving us teenagers, because we're also trying to find a base for our lives. But then if you're basing on yours, then there's nothing that will come out.
I think you're right. Yeah. But sometimes when grown-ups involve their kids into family issues, it's also for the better, so they know what to expect. Like, let's say, okay, I don't exactly have an actual example of it, but let's say there's like a family problem, right? And now you tell your eldest daughter that, I don't know, please make sure that you make it a knife so that we can fix this somehow.
Okay.
They're just trying to tell them that there are a lot of things that are counting on you at the moment, that you should do your best, because even if you don't manage to do it, at least help halfway with it, because they trust you. Even though you're maybe like 10 years old and they're already telling you we need your help somehow, or please, I don't know, just involving kids. Of course, it can be dangerous, but at the same time, it depends how you do it and what you tell them.
Well, again, that's what I was talking about, invisible pressure. Let the kid do what he or she wants. Don't let society determine what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do. And I think that our parents, they kind of like have this thing whereby they're competing with their friends and other aunties and other fathers that, oh, my kid is going to do this, my kid is going to do that.
I get what you mean.
So they put invisible pressure on you. They pump you up. You're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that in order to have a better life. You're supposed to have a better life than everyone. But then I don't believe that it's about competition, because I think at my school people have this thing that they think it's competition. We're in a competition, but then we're not. We're just trying to live our lives. I'm just a person who's trying to grow. But then they don't understand that, because where they come from, it's kind of like society expectations.
I get what you mean.
That. So they have a competitive mindset, which is something that I personally, I don't advise. I
understand what you mean, because like my mom, right, she has this friend, they're really close friends though. I'm not sure if we're actually related at this point with that friend, but whenever they're talking about like their kids, they're like, oh, my daughter is actually really tall now, and my sister, she's super tall. So now that we're talking about who's taller, right, so we're like, yeah, she's actually taller than her. And then my mom will say, really, taller than her? And then she'll say, yeah, but she's like up to 2 to 5 years younger than my sister. So then we'll both say, okay, that's not true, but it's a competition about whose kid is better. And honestly, me and my sisters, we don't feel bad about that, because everyone knows that parents like to feel like their kids are important. That's what makes parents happy also, the fact that they feel like their kids are on top of the world, because it makes them feel like they're on top of the world as well.
Okay, but again, let me take, for example, your parents don't get it, and you're trying to tell your friends, and your friends don't get
also
it as well.
Also don't get it. That's what I really don't like, because you could be explaining to them, and then you'd expect them, of all people, to say, yeah, I understand what you mean, but then they say, I don't understand what you mean. It's not that hard.
I have my friends. I have a friend who gets it, because we kind of like relate in the same situation, but then I have my friends who don't understand anything, because when they're talking about problems, they're talking about my mom can send me data and stuff, but then that's not problems, and we can never actually relate at a certain level. And I'm not saying it's a crime, but yeah, I feel like we just need someone who listens rather than just like, what are you talking about? Sometimes just listening is kind of like what makes me determine that this person is my friend. I'm not sure. Yeah.
I understand what you mean, because what I've been thinking about recently is the fact that when someone gives you advice, they're saying, yes, I do want the best for you, right? When they're giving you advice. But that advice is also based on their past experiences. So let's say that person had a traumatic past. They're going to try and do their best for you because they don't want that to happen again. Or that's only if they change for the better. If that traumatic past made them worse, they're going to try and tell you to fail without telling you straight up. Like they'll give you the wrong advice so that you fail deliberately.
Okay. So I think we just need someone who listens to us now. Yeah. So to all the friends out there, you guys listen to your friends. Listen to your friends.
And to the siblings as well, because if you have siblings, those are pretty much the people who are closest to you. If you need a blood donation and you have siblings, they're going to give it to you, whether they like it or not. Well, they do have a choice, but the choice, everyone's going to say you're a mean person if you're their twin and you say, I don't want to give you my blood.
Okay.
So you don't really have a choice.
Okay. So do you have like an idea on how we can deal with this as a generation?
Honestly, I think first of all comes the fact that not everything is a problem.
Okay.
Some things you might be upset about or frustrated, you can really get over them just by talking to yourself, okay? Because you are yourself's best friend.
Well,
in a way
hold up. I've had a person who told me that self-conversations
are a sign of mentally ill people.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm glad you get it. Because what do you mean you're talking to yourself?
No, when I say talking to yourself, I don't mean like walking home on the way from walking back home from school and telling yourself, oh, okay, so this happened, and telling yourself what happened at school. I mean, like, just like, let's say you take the problem into consideration. And now you just think about everything that happened.
Okay.
Then you tell yourself, in your mind, not talking out loud, that'll be too much. Then you just tell yourself, okay, so the solution would obviously be to, and then you say the solution. Then, second, I think that people should also remember that God is also there. So that's also a way to help yourself.
Okay. Prayer.
Prayer, definitely. It's really important. Then, also just surround yourself with people who actually care. Because one thing I've noticed about myself and me being around my sisters is when they have a bad friend, I don't even need to see that person. I can just say, Aliyah, I don't trust that girl whenever she comes back home. And do you know what happened? Like 3 months after that, she said that girl started bullying her. And they said, didn't I tell you not to trust that Twitch? Then she said,
oh my God, you called her Twitch. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
She was really annoying. Just the way she explained her, I didn't like it. So I said, Aliyah, I warned you. Then she said, yes, you did, Saphiya. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Then a few years later, the same thing happened to my other younger sister. Yeah, I think you get it, right?
Yeah, I do.
So surrounding yourself by the right people, some people can even tell that you're not being around the right people, like me and my sisters. And then I can also tell when I'm not around the right people. So when that happens, especially just move away from them and continue. Just find the people who are actually right for you. And that you can find your family, your parents, because your parents care about you. If you fail, it's going to look bad on them. So they really do have to make sure that you do well. That's why they care. Then you also have your friends at school and teachers. Because, you know, one thing I noticed about teachers, it's not all of them, but most teachers, right? When they have a class, if that class does exceptionally well, they're going to brag about it a lot to other teachers. Or let's say you're going somewhere for some sort of, I don't know, university graduation party. Then the main teacher who is teaching you will definitely, if they can, come and say, you know, I taught this girl and she was valedictorian. Yeah,
because they're proud of you. Yeah,
That was my progress with the student.
Okay.
So then, the main thing is to mostly rely on people who also rely on you. Because that way it's also mutual. And then you also have good friends, like actual good friends. Even though they don't gain anything out of it, they're still going to want to help you.
Yeah, I believe I actually have good friends at this point. I'm in love with my friends. Yeah.
That's good.
But then I don't think that talking to your parents or to your older siblings or talking to someone who cares is kind of like a way to detoxicate yourself. Because I feel like as a generation, as teenagers, as people who were born in the Ama2K, as they like to say, we don't have much freedom to do what we actually want. Here we have societal expectations. If everyone's dressing like that, then oh my God, I need to dress like that. If everyone's dripping, I have to drip. If everyone's doing vintage, I have to do vintage. But then I feel like we just need someone to tell us that, no.
Wait, can I hold you in one thing?
Okay.
The vintage thing. So, like, if I actually started trying in my class to read books, it's going to be normal.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay, fine.
I didn't say that.
I still think it counts, though, as an idea, because 5 kids in my class who love books, and then the rest who don't really care about them.
You
could
can do
turn into
it.
the
You
whole
can do
thing.
it. It's fine. It's not like there's actually anything that you can do besides that. So
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather you actually read books because I believe it's actually really helpful for your mind.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you guys are going through stuff, read books. I believe books are kind of like an escapism element as well. Okay, then get a phone as well. What
A
else?
phone?
Yeah, a phone is an escapism
Okay,
element.
I guess it counts. Also depends what you're using it for, because, you know, with a book, right, you know what's going to happen. It's at the back, the last page of the book you can see. I think you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you can see. But with phones, you also have to be careful. Just make sure that whatever you're watching, because the kind of things you watch, they're going to keep on popping back. It might be that one YouTuber or one TikToker who you always see, like maybe every 5 shorts or every 5 videos.
Yeah.
You're going to see that person. So make sure that the person who you're always like watching isn't toxic. Make sure they're like giving you good feedback. Make sure they're telling you, well, not specifically talking to you, because you know what I mean. But it should just be like that person isn't feeding you bad energy.
Okay.
They should just be doing good things in front of you. Even if it's like maybe they're a gardener and they love trimming roses and they're showing you, okay, so the right way to trim a rose is to hold it here and go snip, snip, snip. Maybe roses make you happy. Then that's what you should watch.
Do you think our parents understand that we're trying? Do you think that they understand that?
I think they do, but they forget it easily.
Okay.
Yeah, because with my parents, they know I'm trying a lot. Whenever I'm about to do something, let's say it's before a test or an exercise that actually depends on my results, they'll say, Saphiya, I know you're trying, but please get this right.
Okay.
So they know, but they can forget. And then there's also the chance that maybe they always forgetting. Like they never realize that she does have a lot. She has her teacher's work. Let's say she has 10 subjects, right? Or maybe over 7 subjects. They're going to say, okay, so make sure you do this homework. Next lesson. I want that homework due by Tuesday, when it was a Monday, so the next day they want it. Okay, make sure make sure that this is done by tomorrow. Everyone's going to say, make sure it's done by tomorrow. Then at home, you still have to deal with your family. Mm-hmm. And, there's just a lot going on in this world. Mm-hmm. Then there's also free time. And honestly, sometimes, as social media counts as an escape route, it's also something that you can easily be addicted to. Yeah. So let's say you're tired of the work. Maybe you've done half of the first assignment they've given you. You're probably going to go to your tablet or phone and say, okay, yeah, I'm going to do this now. Now you've been scrolling. It feels like 10 minutes, but really it's been an hour. Mm-hmm. Now it's already midnight. You got home late. Social media can be dangerous. Just make sure you're not addicted to anything.
Okay, so we have, okay, what do I call it? We have a burning issue in Zimbabwe of drug abuse and drugs and so on. Mm-hmm. Like, have you ever actually thought why people take drugs, or you guys are just going, oh my God, it's bad. No?
Well, I have thought about it, and I do know that sometimes things do get tough. But drugs, I think that people should, before taking drugs, they should think, okay, do you really think this is going to help you? Like, looking at whatever is in that bottle, right? Are you going to tell yourself, okay, do you think this is going to help me? Are you going to say yes to that? Like thinking, this substance is definitely going to make me feel good. And for a week, I'm going to be perfectly fine. My liver is going to be perfect in 5 years. That thing is going to help me. That's what I always wonder, because what are they thinking before they take it? Not judging, of course. Things can get tough. But there's always another solution. Like, drugs are a fake source of happiness.
Well, okay. Have you ever thought that as boys, we feel kind of like neglected?
Well, considering the fact that I don't have a brother, but I have my mom's cousin, but he's like much younger than my mom. He's like my age. And when I'm with him, right, I notice that sometimes he says, you girls are so lucky. You don't have to do any of this, that, and you're allowed to cry in front of people. Then I'll say, yeah, you're also allowed, just because of what you think.
Not.
But you
we're
can.
Not allowed.
It's just that you don't feel like it.
I can't because... Okay, I can, but I won't. Because societal expectations. And I don't know, you have to meet up certain levels with, okay, I have to do this, I have to do that. And parents just don't understand. And yeah, you guys are like, how do I call it? These days it's all about the girl child. It's all about what the girl child is doing. No one's thinking about the boys, about what the boys are going through. No one cares. No one's even doing anything for the boys.
It's not that no one cares.
No one does. No one does, actually, to be honest.
Well, it's
and we
not
feel
that
kind of
nobody
sad
does,
about it.
But in a way, you guys do kind of make it seem like you can handle anything most of the time. So,
well, because that's what society expects from us. We have to. Even if you can't, you have to. Because society is like, Okay.
I get what you mean, though.
Yeah, I
So-
just wish that people saw our struggles. Like, just because they're different, that doesn't make us really. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, one thing I realized is perspective matters a lot, because if you're yourself, you have your experiences to guide you on what you want your future to be like. You know that, oh, that didn't work out, let me try this. But someone else might not know that. Then you'll give them advice on that. Or let's say you're getting advice from the person who doesn't know that, and you trust that person. It's not going to end well for you because you don't know how that person experienced certain things.
Okay.
And how they took that in. So I think that also matters a lot, like the way you see things. And then you also have to put yourself into other people's shoes. Parents should see what their kids are like in their own shoes. Then kids should see how their parents have it.
Okay.
Because, you know, kids and parents, it's actually a really important bond that you have to have. Because
Yeah, I understand. Yeah,
your
I get
parents,
that.
they love you the most. And that's like, maybe they don't. And that case is low. But there's probably going to be that happy fairy tale ending where the teacher says, oh, you're so sweet. And then you're the favorite of the class. And then maybe something happens to your parents and now you're adopted by the teacher. That's from a book I read, though.
Oh my god.
Point
You're so
is,
delusional.
You're
So delusional. Oh my god, that will actually
That actually
never
happened in the book, though. So point is, it depends on perspective. Yeah, and you should always try and see how the other person goes through something. That's also very important. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Just make sure that whenever you're talking to someone, you try your best to understand what they're going through.
Okay. So I feel like we should let every teenager out there know that we see you guys. Okay, tell us in the comment section what, as boys, you're going through, as girls, you're going through, how you guys feel unheard, how you think that the older generation can make you guys feel better. Say it in the comment section.
Well, I think that we've spoken a lot about this, and I really hope that you took what we said into consideration. That was me, Saphiya.
And this is Tafara Dale. Thank you so much for listening to the Teen Talk. See you tomorrow.